match, same evening breeze, two shadows set in symmetry. No rush to speak, no plans to keep, just silence folded neat and deep. We watched the sky in pastel gray while buses groaned and rolled away. He didn't move, he didn't yawn, just sat beside from dusk till dawn. Then came the words, so soft, so light, as if he'd pulled them from the night. I hope the rain won't fall too soon. And just like that I bloomed into. He said he hoped the sky would stay clear just for this brief stretch of day. And though the clouds still hung above, my world lit up like whispered love. No storm could reach the way I felt when kindness slipped from how he dealt. Not thunder loud, not sun so proud, but gentle weather in the crowd. The next day came, we sat again. The clouds were low, but not like then. His voice still lingered in my chest like leather kept in folded rest. No need to check the forecast app. His sentence echoed in my lap, and every droplet that stayed far felt like a wish from where we are. He wasn't trying to impress, just shared the sky in quietness. And somehow that became a thread that stitched up something soft instead. He said he hoped the rain would miss this tiny pocket made of this. And though it's small and no one sees, it brightened all the dark in me. No rainbow cue, no cinematic sign, just weather talk that realigned. The sky might break, but I won't hide. I've got his words beneath my stride. Some people bring umbrellas wide, while others just stand by your side. He didn't shield, he didn't shine, but somehow made the gray align. He wished the sky would hold its tears, and suddenly I lost my fears. The forecast didn't change the scene, but changed the way I read between. No promise made, no fingers crossed, but something soft was never lost. I watched the clouds, then looked ahead, and felt the sun in what he said.
The pairs were picked, the room grew tight, with every name a fading light. I stood alone, no place to land, just silence cupped in awkward hands. Eyes on desks, the count ran thin, no partner left to fold me in. But then a voice, no pause, no strain, wanna team up like common rain. No pity tone, no sideways glance, just words that gave me back my stance. Not loud, not sweet, just simply clear, enough to melt away my fear. He said it's smooth, no need to try, and I forgot the urge to cry. No second thought, no rescue look, just space he made and gently took. I didn't speak, I didn't stall, just let my grin say it all. And something in that easy line made being last feel close to fine. didn't cheer, we didn't blush, just moved our chairs without the rush. But but still I felt the quiet shift of something small become a gift. He didn't know the way he broke with just a phrase so lightly spoke, but somehow in that ordinary he made my world a little airy. He could have waited, looked away, let someone else reset the play, but chose instead to bridge the space where I had felt out of place. He said it plain, not like a role, but like it came from somewhere whole. No sympathy, no saving hand, just equal ground and honest stand. And I just smiled and said okay, but meant much more than I could say. He gave no script, but still I knew that maybe kindness writes us too. Some offers bloom without a sound, no fireworks, no echoed round, but still they lift and still they shine, like someone rewrote Left Behind. He said let's pair, and just like that the room grew wide, the fear went flat. No need for more, no deeper thread, just someone seeing me instead. And though it started small and late, it turned a pause into a gate. So maybe being last that day was just the perfect kind of way.
Steps were traced against my will. Forgotten book, or maybe fate. The lock had clicked, but not too late. I pushed the door, the lights were dim. No sound, no plan, just space in him. He didn't flinch, just turned his head with glassy sky and thoughts half fed. He blinked and smiled without a cue and said, well, hey, fun seeing you. So casual, so out of place, but something sparked inside that space. He called it chance, a passing thread, but I felt stars behind his head. No lightning struck, no scene was drawn, but still I knew this wasn't gone. A laugh so soft, a tilt so true, like time had split to make a view. No prophecy, no neon sign, but something gently fell in line. Its final strain. I clutched my book, forgot the rest, like fate had played a tiny chess. No deep exchange, no plotted track, just quiet pulling moments back. And in that glance, that smile unsought, the day became more than I thought. We didn't move, we didn't speak, just stood where random started to peak. And though the world resumed its race, I stayed suspended in that place. He said what luck and brushed his sleeve, but made me want to half believe that some small thread had just aligned to catch me stepping out of time. I never planned to see him there, but found him like a whispered prayer. No reason why, no script to read, but somehow it was all I'd need. Prove they're true, they only need to pass through you. And when he smiled, the world stood still, like maybe fate had bent its will. He said one look and turned away, but left the moment there to stay. It wasn't loud, it wasn't bold, but something silent quietly told that if the stars aligned by chance, then maybe I should learn that dance. He'll never know what spark he lit, but I'm still standing in the split.
Brushed it twice, then once again. New fringe, new part, a different frame. Stepped inside, no voices changed. Just rows of desk and chairs arranged. Laughed in corners, passed by eyes, but no one caught the small disguise. I played it cool, I wore it proud, but silence settled in too loud. By lunch I let the mirror fade, convinced no one had seen the braid. But then as halls began to drain, one voice cut gently through the plane. You look a little different now, he said it soft with a lifted brow. No grand applause, no stare too long, just like the breeze had hummed a song. And suddenly the class felt clear, the weight I wore began to veer. It wasn't much, but still enough to make the quiet feel like love. I smiled small and brushed my side, pretending I had nothing to hide. But something in his tone rang sweet, like I'd step forward on my feet. He didn't ask, he didn't praise, just let his words refrain my haze. The rest walked by in noisy streams, but I stood still in better dreams. Some voices don't intend to save, they only pass but still they pave. And what he said, so faint, so brief, undid a morning full of grief. You look a little different now, and with those words I asked not how, just took them in and let them stay to shift the glass in my own way. The girl I saw by 8 a.m. returned to me like light through stem. No fireworks, no stormy sky, just calm enough to let me try. No crowd will cheer the fringe you trim, but just one word can change the rim. And when it comes so soft, so kind, it settles deeper in your mind. You look a little different now, and maybe that's what made me bow to mirrors. Once I used to fear, but now they smile when he draws near. He never meant to shift the tide, but still he stood where doubt would hide. And that alone was all I need to see myself and feel complete. No words, no lines, just brooms and floors assigned to clean the silent chores. He didn't speak and neither did I, just moved the desk beneath the sky. The echo clinked of chair on tile, routine framed in dusty miles. But then it hit a gentle crash, two corners met in awkward splash. Our hands both froze and eyes took flight, a blink, a beat, and then a light. He laughed not loud, just soft and fast, like spring had snuck into the glass. We didn't talk, we didn't plan, but in that clash I swore I ran from every cold and careful sight to somewhere warm where truth can hide. A desk, a laugh, no need to say, but something real had brushed my way. We're often lost, we barely sink,
on the side. We're not the kind who trade in words. We live in almost, not in thirds. But now I see the space we share is full of light we didn't dare. It doesn't need to bloom or burn, just flicker bright when no one turns. A spark inside the daily dust that says you're seen, and that's enough. We didn't speak, but still it shone. That half a laugh we both had known. A second brushed, a corner turned, and something quiet almost burned. We're never close, we often miss, but moments like this feel like gifts. A clash, a grin, no larger aim, but still I'll never see the same. Gain, 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 gain. No promises, no future cast, but maybe this was built to last. In tiny ways, in quiet cues, in things we touch but never use. We didn't speak, and that's okay. We shined in just that tilted way. No title set, no roles to name, but still I'm glad we're not the same. We're not a script, we're not a pair, but something more is always there. We clash, we clean, we laugh, we move, and somehow that's enough to prove.
He dipped the brush, the ink was still. A breath held tight, a silent will. And then it moved, no second guess. One stroke that carved a weightlessness. I watched it form, bold and wide. A single word that wouldn't hide. Just now in black, no flare, no frame. But something in it called my name. It wasn't loud, it didn't shine, but echoed down this life of mine. I looked away but felt it stay inside the hours of that day. He wrote now and time stood still, like all the noise had bent to will. Not dreams ahead or echoes past, but just the space where shadows cast. And suddenly the light felt slow, the air grew thick in subtle glow. A single word, a single frame, yet all around it burned my name. The bell had rung, the class was done, but still my world had just begun. I held that now like secret code, a quiet pulse in overload. He didn't mean to change my pace, just filled a void with sudden grace. No speech, no smile, no knowing nod, but still I felt the shift like God. I didn't move, I didn't write, just sat and soaked in softer light, as if the paper spoke instead. You're here, not there, so lift your head. He wrote now and I began to hold the seconds in my hand, not waiting for some brighter than, but loving every ink stained wind. No need for plans or golden years, just press that beat inside my ears. He didn't speak, he didn't try, but made me feel the reason why. but some words weren't made to last. Still now remains a pulse of flame, the boldest line without a name. He wrote now, and though he left, the word still held a quiet heft. It stayed with me through fading light, like ink that glows in silent night. I walked home slow, but steps felt wide, like every blink was magnified. He'll never know what he began, with just one stroke that shaped the span.
Still, the air hung light, his desk a frame in sleepy white. Head down low in crooked line, a dreamer lost in lunch break time. One lock of hair slid down his cheek, a strand so soft, so oddly sleek. And without thought, I reached to sweep, like brushing clouds from cotton sleep. No one saw, no drama broke, just my small hand and sleepy cloak. I pulled it back, then paused and stayed, as if the world had gently swayed. Heated awake with startled eyes, just blinked and grinned like soft surprise. Thought there was a book, he said, with half a laugh and tousled head. But still that smile, that lazy glow, made something soft inside me grow. No love declared, no hero cue, just space enough to feel brand new. He stretched and yawned, the scene resumed, but I still lived inside that room. The touch was brief, the talk was light, but left my chest a little bright. No thank you said, no lines to cross, just one soft second nearly lost. Yet even so, I found a hue that made me kinder than I knew. He'll never guess the thought I kept, the way that single moment slept between the sighs of passing day, and stayed in ways I can't convey. He joked about a dreamland flight, but never asked the reason why. And maybe that was for the best, to keep it soft inside my chest. I touched his face and touched my own, a kindness bloomed I hadn't known. No grand event, no plotted part, just here and there and beating heart. We pass, we speak, we laugh, we leave, but still there's more than we perceive. He'll never know what I became, just from one touch that had no name. He smiled and joked and moved along, but left behind a gentle song. No thunderclap, no sudden flame, just me, a little less the same. And maybe that's how kindness starts, with little shifts in beating hearts. No need for answers, vows, or plans, just brushing dreams with quiet hands. this and let it go. No one liked or shared it fast, just clouds that moved and quickly passed. But later on, while scrolling slow, I saw a post, his sky in tow. Different view, another block, but same soft pink, same edge of clock. No hashtags match, no comments link, yet somehow still I paused and blinked. He saw the sky I'd seen before in his own frame, his own decor. No message sent, no line was drawn, but something warm just lingered on. Two skies, two screens, no perfect rhyme, but still they met across the time. No words exchanged, no tags to trace, just shared horizon, different place. I didn't post again or say, but smiled alone the quiet way, as if the clouds had made a call between two hearts without a wall. He never knew, he didn't see the way that moment carried me. No chat, no likes, no DM sound, but still it felt like I'd been found. We don't align, we barely speak, but once in skies the edges leak. And even if it wasn't meant, that glow was real the way it bent. He caught the light I'd caught before from somewhere else, some distant shore. Not face to face, not close in miles, but still enough to stir my smiles. No proof, no sign, no written thread, but still it echoed in my head, as if the sky had passed us both. The quiet spark we didn't know. Maybe we're just two passing views in parallel with tinted hues, but when our skies aligned that night, it felt like something tilted right. He saw the sky and so did I, from different streets but same old high. No need for names, no need to speak, just one soft beat we didn't seek. And I just laughed behind my screen at how the world could stretch between two posts, two phones, no big design, but still his sky had touched on mine.
The canvas stood on tilted wood. He showed his piece. We said that's good. A sky of blue, a tree in bloom, the quiet hush of art room gloom. But there it was, my favorite place, a simple bench, my lunchtime space, drawn in shade with perfect line, a silent shape that looked like mine. He didn't glance, he didn't say, just packed his brushes, walked away. But in that frame, so still, so wide, I felt a pulse I couldn't hide. He drew a bench and that was all. No name, no claim, no curtain call, but somehow I was framed in tone, in pastel lines I thought unknown. I told myself it wasn't deep, just scenery, not secrets kept. But still I sat there just to see if maybe he had noticed me. Next day passed like folded notes, but still I walked in silent quotes and found the bench just like before, but this time meant a little more. The breeze was light, the sky was plain, but something danced beneath the rain. He never spoke, no artist cue, yet still the world felt painted new. Maybe it's just a trick of mine, but there I sat and there I'd find that even silence left a trace when drawn by him in quiet space. He drew a bench where I would be, a shape too close to just be free. And in that sketch I saw a sign that maybe chance had drawn a line. No spotlight cast, no words were said, but something bloomed inside my head. I sat again and let it grow, a brushstroke only we might know. She's there again. Not every story needs a plot. Some art reveals the things we're not. He didn't speak, but still he drew, and I became a shade of blue. He drew a bench and I still sit, as if his hand had summoned it. No proof, no script, no guarantee, but still it felt like part of me. I'll never ask what made him see that quiet bench beneath the tree, but if he painted truth that day, I hope I'm still not far away.
The desk aligned, the lights were dim. One song per heart, no scripts, no trim. I waited quiet, sleeve pulled tight. My playlist stayed in silent flight. He stood with calm, his phone in hand, and cued a track I didn't plan. But as it played, my breath caught short. I knew that song, I'd shared that chord. I'd posted it some months ago, a late night link with captioned glow. No likes, no shares, no viral spin, but now it looped beneath my skin. He chose that song, my favorite sound, the one I thought no one had found. He didn't look, he didn't speak, but still my chest turned bold from weak. No proof he knew, no hints or nod, but still it felt like fate applauded a melody I once let slip, now sung aloud from his own lips. Not sharp, not flat, the room held still, imagine that. No fireworks, no movie scene, just sound that danced where I had been. I watched the board, avoided eyes, but couldn't help the inner rise. As if some thread from screen to air had woven him from moments there. I never thought he'd scroll that far, or find that post among the stars, but still that tune he chose to play felt like my name in some small way. He sang my song without a clue, and painted all my grayscale blue. A quiet nod to something past that somehow made my heart beat last. I didn't tell, I didn't smile, just let the warmth stay for a while, because some truths don't need a stage, they hum between the lines we cage. softly laid. But even if the thread was thin, it tied me back to joy within. He picked a song I used to share, and suddenly the room felt rare. No spotlight scene, no love confessed, just one soft beat inside my chest. The world kept still, the class moved on, but something deeper had been drawn. He'll never know what he unlocked, a heart that danced though never knocked.
Just a hum beneath my breath, no melody to wake the rest. Faint and small, a secret thread of something stuck inside my head. I didn't mean for anyone to catch the tune I floated on, but then it came so soft, so near, a voice that echoed what I hear. He hummed it back just half a line, like sunlight slipping through a blind. It might have been coincidence, but still I froze in half pretense. Was it real or just the wind? Did he hear what I kept in? He didn't glance, he didn't smile, but something shifted for a while. Just half a note, just half a guess, but still my chest said more with less. And for a second, soft and wide, the world felt closer on my side. Maybe he turned the page, the day moved on. No flash, no flare, no golden dawn, but I stayed floating in the sound of maybe something we both found. He might not know or even care, but now the silence feels less bare. A chorus formed without a plan, no words exchanged, but still we ran. Some notes don't need to be full grown to make you feel less all alone. And even if it fades away, it stitched a thread into my day. Was it chance or was it fate? A note he caught or simply late? He may forget, he may not see, but that one echo stayed with me. I didn't ask, I didn't claim, but something whispered just my name. A world of noise and distant sound, and suddenly we both were found. It wasn't love, it wasn't loud, but still it pulled me from the crowd. And in that line he never knew, I heard the space between us move. He hummed it back just one soft beat, but it rewrote my quiet seat. No spotlight cast, no symphony, just one soft thread of harmony. And now I walk through halls the same, but feel the world has learned my name, because one voice unplanned, untried, sang back the tune I used to hide. Ooh. Scream my lungs into the air, painted cheers like I was there. Every chant, every shout, till my voice just faded out. Crowds dispersed, the heat went still. My throat took ghost against my will. No trophy gold, no ribbon bright, just silence pressing into night. Then came a rustle, nothing grand, just candy dropped into my hand. He didn't speak, just let it fall, like knowing beats the words at all. He didn't say you did your best or praise me more than all the rest, but something in that tiny act told me what loud applause can pack. Wrapped in foil, a quiet grace that met me in my empty space. No speech, no line, no thank you shout, just one soft way he reached me out. I'd given all, no voice remained. My heart was loud, my body strained, but he had seen what effort took without the need to even look. A simple shape, a sugar coat, but somehow it cleared up my throat, like proof that someone saw me true without a single loud thank you. He could have cheered or said I rocked, but chose instead to gently dock that moment with a gift so small, and yet it echoed more than all. He didn't cheer, he didn't bow, but gave me more than rules allow. No need for lines rehearsed or planned, just quiet candy in my hand. The crowds had gone, the flags came down, but still I wore that sugar crown, because he saw where I had bled and gave me peace and sweets instead. Some kindness speaks in silent form, it doesn't need the perfect storm, just one small gesture wrapped in light to tell you that you did it right. He handed hope without a word, and in that quiet I was heard. No louder praise, no bigger show, just what I needed most to know, that someone saw, that someone cared when I was cracked and voice was spared. And now I keep that moment tight, a candy wrapped in quiet light.
Practice hours, paper hands, lines rehearsed, then shift and stand. My voice was low, unsure and thin, still finding where to let it begin. Slides move fast, the spotlight near, and every eye just bred more fear. But then I said my chosen line, and caught a knot that met with mine. No sound, no cheer, no flash or grin, just something settled deep within. He looked, he heard, and then he gave a quiet gift that helped me brave. He didn't say you've got this, go, but still my pulse began to glow. Just one small nod, so calm, so still, it wrapped around my shaken will. No speech, no script, no guiding hand, but suddenly I chose to stand, as if that glance had cleared the fog. A single gesture broke the log. I finished lines I feared before, with steps that didn't shake the floor. No magic spell, no secret cue, just steady air I somehow knew. He turned away like nothing big, but left behind a mental twig. I held it close, that single sign, like proof I had a voice, a spine. We didn't talk, he didn't cheer, but what he gave was loud and clear. Sometimes belief just takes one nod to push you past the parts you fogged. He didn't say you're doing great, but still he helped unlock my gate, and all the doubts that filled my page fell quiet with that subtle stage. A single nod no one else saw, but it became my quiet law to keep on going, hold that thread, a flicker strong enough to spread. Not
every hero wears a crown. Some just look up, then glance back down. But in that look I found my light, a moment small yet burning bright. He nodded once and that was all, but made my world feel 10 feet tall. No louder crowd could match that spark. He lit my sky without the mark. And now I speak with steady tone, but carry that small truth alone, that once he saw and gave me grace, and I became my braver face. The page was war, a silent fight. Numbers blurred in overhead light. X and Y refused to play, and all my thoughts just slipped away. Head down low, my brows in storm. The scribbles lost their practice form. Then from behind a quiet sound, a voice that barely touched the ground. Try here, he said, just soft and near. One fingertip made things more clear. Not just the steps, not just the clue, but something deeper breaking through. He didn't solve the whole for me, but gave me space to finally see. His voice was math I understood, a kindness hiding under wood. No fancy words, no golden rule, just look right here beneath the cool. And in that point so plain, so small, I felt the weight begin to fall. He moved away, no second glance, as if he hadn't changed my stance. But I could feel the way it bent, the air, the page, the incident. His tone held more than calculation, more than steps or explanation, like empathy in hidden code, a warmth that showed the overload. He didn't ask if I was stuck, just offered help, then pressed his luck. And somehow in that moment's cue, he solved a piece I never drew. He taught me more than math that day, without a lecture or display. Just pointed once, then walked away, and left his meaning in the gray. I still got numbers all confused, but felt a kindness I could use, because some things don't graph or chart, they just connect a beating heart. Not every sum is meant to solve, some just exist so we evolve. And when he spoke so low, so few, the room lit up in something true. He said check here and didn't stay, but made my thoughts get out the way. And though the answer took some time, I kept his voice inside the line. So even when the math goes wrong, his quiet tone still pulls me strong, because he showed me where to start, with something softer than the chart. The screen went black, the lights fell slow, a hush like velvet start to flow. No one moved, the room held tight, the world dissolved in absence light. Beside me still, or maybe not, the kind of space where thoughts get caught. A shuffle sound, not loud, not clear, but close enough to pull in near. might have moved or maybe stayed, but still my pulse gave me away. A single beat too loud too soon, like thunder under a crescent moon. No words were said, no feet aligned, but something changed inside the blind. Not touch, not sound, not planned exchange, just heartbeats skipping into range. The film began, but I still froze, more focused on where tension grows. His shoes so plain, so unremarked, but now they felt like question marks. He didn't lean, he didn't stare, but still the air was strange in there, like every second wrapped in thread that barely moved but buzzed instead. It wasn't love, it wasn't fate, but something brushed against the weight. And in that hush, my thoughts ran wild, like something soft and undefiled. He maybe moved or maybe not, but still my chest tied in a knot. No proof, no scene, no final clue, just shadows saying maybe you. The dark can twist what senses find, but still it printed on my mind. A moment where I swore we touched, with only air but felt too much. Some distances don't need to shrink to make your breath forget to think. And when he shifted just a trace, my world condensed to half the space. He didn't reach, he didn't call, but still I felt the almost fall. The kind that doesn't need a name, but marks you just the same. So when the light came flooding back, I stayed in shadows off the track, because I'd felt just for a spark that maybe we had touched the dark. We lined up tight, the teacher called, closer now, the echo stalled. 1 foot back, one smile placed, a flash, a blink, a moment chased. Didn't speak, didn't dare, I stood with space and practiced care. But later on, when photos showed, a piece of him had somehow flowed. His hand not planned, not meant to be, was resting just behind on me. Not quite a touch, not fully there, but still it made me stop and stare. In the snapshot, time stood still, and something warm began to fill. A hand, a line, not even known, but somehow it felt all my own. No staged intent, no hidden cue, but suddenly the sky turned blue, because his fingers graced the frame and nothing ever looked the same. He might not know, he might not care, it might have just been standing there. But now that print so still, so small, holds more than I can show at all. No captions tell the part I keep, the angle only I can read. But when I saw that little sign, it felt like we had crossed the line. Not in a way that others see, but in a frame that captured me. And though it wasn't by design, it now belongs to just my mind. His hand behind a simple scene, yet made my world a touch more green. A whisper caught by film and fade, a frozen second I translate. No words exchanged, no angle met, but still it felt magnificent, like maybe we were closer there in ways we wouldn't even dare.
Some frames don't need a voice to speak, they hold the things we never seek. And when I saw his hand that day, it somehow took my breath away. He touched the edge and didn't know, but set a quiet light aglow. Now I keep that print inside, where small things bloom and secrets hide. So call it nothing, call it air, but in that frame I found him there. And just that hand behind my side still makes me smile from deep inside. The train hummed low beneath our feet. His shoulders swayed in rhythmic beat. One yawn escaped, a quiet cue. Eyes half closed and sky still blue. I smiled and said, early today. He rubbed his eyes, then looked away. Yeah, I guess I couldn't sleep. His voice too soft, too calm, too deep. He didn't share the reason why. Just let it float, then let it lie. But in that line so simply said, my heart caught something like regret. He said he'd woken up too soon and somehow lit my quiet room. No plan, no hint, no stated cause, but still I held my breath because if he was tense then so was I. Like echoes pass from mind to sky. I didn't ask, he didn't show, but something stirred I couldn't know. The train went on, the stops flew past, but something stayed from what he cast. That little truce without a name still shimmered soft against the frame. He didn't tremble, didn't fade, but still I sensed the part he weighed. And though I smiled, I felt it too, like morning knew what we both knew. Some feelings don't require a stage, they flicker on in silent gauge. And when he said he felt off track, it slipped beneath my steady act. He didn't say what shook his ground, but still his tone became my sound. And suddenly this ride to school felt like a tide beneath the rule. No context drawn, no moment planned, just quiet fear I came to understand. And maybe that's what real things do, they reach you when they're passing through. He didn't name the cause or pain, but still it pulsed inside my vein. And in that calm before the day, I felt his weight.